Hello and welcome to the first video in the 31 days of Nintendo Network. Make sure to watch the intro video to get a grasp of what's happening if you haven't. And now, on to the retro review. Metroid Dread. What is there really to say about this one? You have to look back at the Metroid games in general and see how the series has had some really super highs and some really rough lows. You see, Dread was teased in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption and a Scan. This left people wanting to know more. Could this be a new game? A sequel to Fusion? Surely it may be a DS game coming up. Nope, it eventually came out for the Switch. Oh, and spoilers ahead for the plot. But it did end up being a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion from the Game Boy Advance. The plot goes that the X-Parasite was seen on a new planet and the Galactic Federation sent out new EMMI robots to dispose of them. As you can imagine, they lost contact with the robots, so they hired Samus to investigate. I'm pretty sure she's just on retainer with them anymore. Samus finds Chozo living on the planet ZDR and learns of Ravenbeak, who is a tribe leader of the Makan Chozo tribe and wiped out most of the Toa tribe. Ravenbeak wants Samus's Metroid DNA that she got from Fusion to, you guessed it, take over the galaxy with a bunch of Samus clones. I see that plan going swimmingly, don't you? But as Samus continues her travels on ZDR, the Chozo DNA she got as a child and the Metroid DNA she got from Fusion were starting to cause some issues. In particular, she's becoming more and more Metroid-like, and the Chozo DNA from the Toa tribe is trying to suppress it, while the Makan DNA is increasing her strength and abilities. See kids, this is why you don't let a species of giant birds mess with your DNA. This is second grade lessons, people. When Samus finally confronts Ravenbeak, he pulls a Darth Vader, and we learn he provided the DNA from his Makan tribe, meaning he is her father.
Not true. That's impossible.
You fight off Ravenbeak. Eventually, Samus's Metroid DNA starts to take over, and she morphs into her Metroid armor and has the ability of a Metroid to drain energy from other living organisms. After defeating Ravenbeak, he is not done yet, as he is infected with X parasites to become Ravenbeak X. Okay, I didn't say anything when Mega Man did that, so I'll let that go. Samus performs her most powerful Kamehameha wave and destroys it and the X-Parasite, except for one parasite that helps Samus gain control over her newfound power as Samus leaves ZDR. This story is completely off the wall and is perfect for the Metroid world. It continues the story from Fusion and the whole world building from before it, but easily acts on its own accord. The gameplay is solid and a ton of fun, and the game's not super long, and like most Metroid 2D games, and even the Prime games to an extent, allows for better replayability to better skills. The biggest issue is early on learning how to avoid and defeat the EMMI that have been reprogrammed by Ravenbeak to hunt down Samus. You get a ton of games over until you learn its tricks and trades, and then you go through a method to destroy them, and then you do it again for the next EMMI. It did add stealth and a sense of urgency, but honestly I think being a huge part of the advertising and gameplay, it needed a bit more time cooking. You either felt completely overwhelmed or it became so kind of bland that it became boring, unfortunately. Beyond that, Metroid Dread is a solid 2D Metroid game, and really not a bad place for newcomers to jump into the series. I, for one, highly recommend it. And day one is in the books. Tune in tomorrow for the next video in the 31 days of Nintendo Network. Make sure to comment your thoughts on Metroid Dread, like this video, and subscribe. We even have a Discord you can join. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 days of the Nintendo Network. In day 2, we're already on a third-party game, and I absolutely love this. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. If you've been on my channel, you know I'm a huge DBZ fan. So in my youth, of course, I grabbed what DBZ games I could. Where yesterday I went into a deep dive into the story of Metroid Dread, this is a DBZ fighting game, where yes, there is a story mode we will discuss, but let's talk about the package as a whole first. First off, this came on the PS2 a whole year before the GameCube, and then weirdly enough, Japan never got the GameCube version. But this is a direct sequel to the first Budokai game, and even if you never heard or played it, you probably know about the infamous part where you have to spin the control stick to make Goku move Raditz into the kill line for Piccolo. Thankfully, things like that have been removed for the second game, along with some characters. Where the first game focused on the Saiyan saga to the Cell games, this game goes all the way through the Kid Buu saga, so the entire DBZ anime. In that process, we get a few new fighters like Adult Gohan and Majin Buu, but lose others like Kid Gohan, Dodoria, Zarbon, and Android 19. Also, Cell and Frieza no longer transform like before and are in their final forms. Beyond the normal fighting and martial arts tournament, customizing your abilities and such, which are all a lot of fun, you have the single player mode Dragon World. Dragon World had you going through a loosely based, and I do mean loosely based, take on the series. You hit all the important beats of each saga, without thinking about the Garlic Jr. saga, because we don't talk about that apparently. Might as well call him Bruno Jr. But you run across board game-like stages as Goku and an ally of your choice to fight in battles, collect items, and even Dragon Balls to use at the end of the mode to unlock a new mode or other abilities for characters. It was fun, and different characters could garner different interactions, allowing for some replayability and beyond. Plus, it introduced us to Super Buu absorbing Cell and Frieza for some interesting exclusive characters. I mean, they're non-canon, and when I say interesting, they're not really interesting looking, it's the concept that I like. At least the Frieza absorbed Buu looks a little less lazy than the Cell absorbed Buu. But I like the idea and what they were trying to do at the very least. But by today's standards, this game is still pretty basic. Put it next to Sparkling Zero, Kakarot, or even other modern Dragon Ball games, it's hard to say to grab Budokai 2 unless you're looking to play all the Dragon Ball games under your belt. Or as a curiosity to try something a bit different, which is not a bad thing. It's fun to see where the journey began. Well, technically more like where it began in America. Japan had been getting Dragon Ball games since the NES. Regardless, for the time, it was pretty good and a great way to play an upgraded Budokai game. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more meat, look at the newest entries for that. Although the opening theme is amazing and elevates this game to legendary status. Plus, I love new animated visuals to go along with these openings. Considering they're better quality than a good chunk of Super. But thank you for joining me here on day 2 of the 31 days of the Nintendo Network. What are your thoughts on Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to join us tomorrow for day 3. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 days of the Nintendo Network, and welcome to day 3. And today we're going to be revisiting Mario & Luigi Partners in Time, the second game in the Mario & Luigi series, which makes me wonder why the 3DS got an upgraded Superstar Saga and then jumped to the third game in the series, Bowser's Inside Story. I know the majority of the world prefers Bowser's Inside Story, but do I? Well, let's just jump into this review and find out. The game is a time-traveling romp, and not just going into the past and then coming to the present at the end of the game. You are jumping back and forth during the entire plot. Alright, the plot. In the past, during Baby Mario and Baby Luigi's time, it is being invaded by the Shroob Army, an alien race bent on world domination, and transforming the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom into fuel for their spaceships. This got really dark really quickly. In the present time, EGAD decided the time machine would be fun to create, so they go into the past, opening a time hole, which is used during the game to go back and forth, and Princess Peach and her attendants are stuck in the past as the Shroobs begin to invade our present time as well. Mario and Luigi go through the time hole to find Princess Peach, but end up getting saved by their baby selves, and they team up. On one hand, that seems like a really bad idea. Imagine the dangers you're putting babies into. I mean, not like that they have a problem with that since they allow them to drive carts all the time in very dangerous locations, so I guess this is fine too. But depending on the rules of time travel, which are not really clearly established, if the babies perish, wouldn't their future selves? I digress though. You go back and forth through time, working on uncovering the Shroob's plans, collecting pieces of a shard that was made into a star, and seeing that the Mushroom Kingdom looked like in the past during a horrific, possibly apocalyptic event.
Neat!
Like when you visit the past Yoshi's Island to find they have all been eaten by a Shroob-infested Yoshi named Yoob. Bowser and Baby Bowser are in this too, but not really much beyond just furthering the plot. Towards the end of the game, you save Peach and try to put the shards together, and Peach stops you. Before she can explain why, Baby Bowser jumps in and completes the star, which releases the final boss, Elder Princess Shroob. The Elder Princess Shroob turns Baby Bowser into a mushroom to be used as fuel once she deals with the plumbers. Of course, you defeat her, but what are the citizens and even enemies that have been turned into mushrooms to do? Well, we're going to the logic of Pokemon the first movie, and many others. where the tears of baby Luigi turns baby Bowser back. So logically, EGAD creates a device to spread baby tears across all the Mushroom Kingdom, restoring everyone, except Princess Peach's attendants. I'm fairly certain they both died in this game. This is really dark. Going from just Mario and Luigi to having now all four of them made the game a lot more interesting, honestly. It had a lot of fun layers to the bro moves. The Mario and Luigi games are not super big with exploring, mostly mainly linear, but different routes to collect items, and this holds true to that. And as much as the plot is not really my favorite, time traveling movies need to make the foundation of the rules or it loses me. The rules need to make sense. I still think it's a fun game that evolves the gameplay of Superstar Saga. The Switch 2 will inevitably get a DS NSO, and I'll be very excited to revisit the game at that time. Oh, and I do think it's a little bit better than Bowser's Inside Story. Thank you for joining me here on day 3 of the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. We're continuing our retro reviews with the Steven Spielberg Presents Boom Blox. Yes, that's Steven Spielberg, who presented Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures, director of Jaws, Schindler's List, and my all-time favorite movie, Jurassic Park. I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned that this calendar year yet, so that's your reminder. But Steven Spielberg presenting a video game was surprising to say the least. On the surface, Spielberg, as I mentioned, helped bring us many cartoons that we loved in the 90s. He's big on making content for families. You know, alongside suspenseful adventure dinosaur movies, and murderous sharks, and gang wars. He runs the full gambit. Regardless, this game doesn't really have a plot, but it is a multiplayer Jenga meets Angry Birds? 3D Angry Birds? You have these large towers in different situations, puzzles, etc. You use the Wiimote to throw items, move blocks, shoot, and even more to complete the objectives. Sometimes it was about getting points, sometimes it's about knocking down a certain object, or actually playing Jenga. You just can't call it Jenga, you know, legal issues, I assume. This game can easily be overlooked in the mountains, and I do mean Mount Everest amount of shovelware games that were on the Wii. What are shovelware games? It's kind of a long explanation, but the majority of the Wii games that you saw in the $5 bins at Walmart during that era. But this really is a standout game among them. This was a staple for game nights for years with me and my friends. It was so easy to pick up for anyone, gamers or not. And back in 2008, it had a stage creation mode. You were able to share it with others through Wii Connect 24. These videos don't have enough time to go over a lot of what needs explained, honestly. But just know that this blue light in the Wii gave us such an endorphin rush, like the Street Pass did. I do think Boom Blox is a game that needs play to truly comprehend. With the Joy-Cons too, I really think this could make a comeback with a new game, or a compilation, HD remake, or remaster, or something. It would be a quick purchase for myself. If you still have a Wii, which you probably do, or your grandparents might have one that's just covered in dust, it's still pretty cheap to obtain. I highly recommend it. Just ignore the little creatures that are running around on each stage. The rabbits really did a number on the industry for a few years, guys. But thank you for joining me here for day 4 on the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. Have you ever had a chance to play Boom Blox? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. And we're here on day 5 with a rather recent entry, Pokemon Legends ZA. For the purpose of this video, we'll be looking at the Switch 2 edition, because that's what I played. Which makes me question how to approach this one. It's still so new, and the DLC being even fresher. So instead of going over the plot, I don't want to be super spoily for such a new game, we'll just kind of go over the good and the bad of the game. First things first, real-time battling in Pokemon feels so good, although it still needs a little bit more worked out. It's a great first step. But let's understand one thing, the non-Legends games will not be utilizing this type of battling moving forward. Which is fine, the Legends games are wonderful places for the team at Game Freak to experiment a little bit, to make the games feel closer to the anime battles. I say closer as I still don't think we're quite there, but we're in that right direction thankfully. The last quarter of the game is peak. The storytelling, mostly. The final battles, bringing together the characters you've met through your journey, somehow people surviving a falling tower, and then some really sad, heart-wrenching moments. It is honestly great that it is a continuation of the X and Y games, one of my favorite Pokemon's entries. Something I really wasn't a fan of was a certain character's plot revolving around finding someone else, and it actually never got resolved. I haven't started the Mega Dimensions DLC yet, so I'm assuming that information might be there, but I'm also not big on them hiding plot details behind a paywall. Now, do I know this for sure? No. Perhaps it's just a piece of lore that was dropped during development. Pokemon would never do something like that. Sadly, most of the new Megas didn't hit as hard as I was hoping. One of the really fun things about the original Megas from X and Y were new typings, for like Ampharos became half Dragon type. The designs are okay, but the majority just kind of blend together. A few stand out ones. But I can finally say with excitement that people are recognizing how great Chestnut is, thanks to his Mega form. He was always amazing, but now people recognize it. Yes! But that all being said, I really enjoyed myself with this game. If you enjoyed the Pokemon games, you will have a great time with this. But this game will not sell you on the franchise if you haven't already been sold for the past almost 30 years. Oh boy. Thank you for joining me here on Day 5 of the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. What do you think of Pokemon Legends ZA, and what Pokemon do you think should have gotten a Mega Evolution? Other than Flygon. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network signing off. Hello and welcome to Day 6 of the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Today we drive up to the 3DS game, Mario Kart 7. Was hoping this wouldn't come up. The odds were in my favor and I still did it. Wonderful. Look, I love Mario Kart games. I really do. But mostly the console versions. Really the handheld games, Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance, Mario Kart DS, and now 7. I don't hate them, but I don't feel they do enough to make themselves stand out. Again, that's not to say they're bad games, but really pale in comparison in my book. They do add things to the formula, like in this game they added gliders and driving underwater, but that still seemed minimal effort. Mario Kart 7 is popular and loved, and surprisingly has Honey Queen as a playable character. I will say this, the handhelds seem to understand having more off-the-wall characters, like Queen Honey and even Rob in DS. The game did allow you to customize your karts, which was a lot of fun. And the tracks were pretty great, honestly. Woohoo Loop, Music Park, and I really loved Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road in this one. And overall, the retro tracks were decent. With the Switch and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, I don't see a reason to revisit the game though, beyond curiosity. It's not like where Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is peak Donkey Kong side-scrolling, but I can still go back to the original Donkey Kong Country and still love it. I could say the same about Deluxe and World, but I don't really feel the need to go back to 7 or DS or even Super Circuit. Is Mario Kart 7 a good game? Absolutely. But is it worth revisiting? I don't know. I really don't think so. But that's up to you. What are your thoughts on Mario Kart 7? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Discord. This is Dustin from the Nintendo Network signing off. Hello and welcome to Day 7 of the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. We are 1 week down, people, and today we get the Switch title Octopath Traveler. And no, not be going over 8 different plots. I'm on a time crunch, people. Octopath Traveler has become a franchise at this point though. 3 games spanning multiple consoles and even a mobile game. But the originals launched it into stardom. What is the concept? Well, you have 8 different characters who are leading their own lives, ups and downs, good things in lives, and even bad things happen that launch them onto an adventure across the land. You start with 1 character who has to be in your party for the entirety of the game, and the remaining 3 slots can be chosen who you want in the party. They explain that at the start of the game, but you won't know how this truly affects you until you get further in the game. Trust me. This one trait made me just sit there at the start of Octopath Traveler 2 trying to decide what the best choice was as my first character. But as you progress, you have story beats you can hit for each character, and you choose where you want to go. Now, if you have to pass an area with level 40 monsters and you're level 15, perhaps it's time to go do another story beat. But you can try and go all out and learn everything about one single character and then go to the next, or you can jump around and kind of go from each character one after another. Gameplay wise, each monster, boss, evil thing you're fighting has weaknesses. You need to balance your team to have different weapons and abilities to counter them and then deal massive damage. One of the biggest issues, and honestly it's not that big an issue here, it doesn't hurt the game too much, but each character is pretty self-contained. So like Cyrus won't comment when working on a new chapter with Tressa. It is something that bothers me in RPGs where the main character is a custom creation, and then there's limited interaction with characters, and I feel so much less interested about them, the people in the world, and even the plot. But thankfully Octopath does well, because each character has their own situations, their own side characters, their own plot, and their own story. And the others are just imaginary friends or something that can hurt the bad guys. If you haven't played this, well, honestly, what are you waiting for? If you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, then this is a must-buy. So, thank you for joining me here today. Who do you think had the best story out of all the characters in Octopath Traveler? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd be so kind, please hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. And today's review is making me wonder if I should have adjusted a few things. I put all 4 Mega Man Zero games into the Wheel of Destiny, and well, we get the 4th and final entry of the series on this day. Unlike the Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 game I did a few days ago, the series is pretty plot heavy. I don't want to spend too much time focused on going over past game plot details though, so I guess we have to go by this one on its own merit. So I'll try and keep plot from the past games to a minimum, but no promises. So the Zero games focuses on everyone's favorite Red Reploid, well, technically a robot master as he was built by Wily. But at the start of this game, Neo Arcadia is still under the iron rule of Dr. Wheel after the Omega incident in Zero 3. You see, this is why we need to know more about the past games. Oh well. Dr. Wheel wants a control over all Reploids and humans with an iron fist. The game begins with Zero helping a caravan of humans and saving them. During this and exploring in an area known as Area Zero, Zero uncovers Dr. Wheel's master plan, Operation Ragnarok, which is meant to destroy all inhabitable areas, so people have no choice but to stay in Neo Arcadia under his rule. Zero also meets the 8 robot masters, 8 Mavericks, 8 Inhiger warriors. I think that's how you pronounce it. Inhiger? It's a real word, it really is, I just don't know what it is. But they are led by someone known as Kraft. Zero takes it upon himself to defeat the 8 and help prevent Operation Ragnarok. After defeating half of the 8 Inhiger bad guys, Kraft attacks a human settlement. Zero rushes to the rescue and defeats him, but Kraft kidnaps an old friend of his, but Zero saves her as well. In the process, you learn that Kraft wanted to save her from Ragnarok. After defeating the rest of the 4, you find out it was all a distraction for Dr. Wheel to complete Project Ragnarok, a satellite space station with a giant laser capable of destroying anything it sets its sight on. During all of this, Kraft, while on Ragnarok, declares his own rebellion and plans on killing Dr. Wheel.
That's good.
But then, we'll use Ragnarok to destroy Neo Arcadia.
Ooh, that's bad.
Kraft is successful in defeating Dr. Wheel and destroys Neo Arcadia just as Zero's forces escape their old base. Zero defeats Kraft and all seems okay. You know, except for an entire city being destroyed and potentially thousands dead.
Hooray! Question mark?
But all is not well. Ragnarok is still operational and Dr. Wheel has uploaded his brainwaves into Ragnarok and is immortal. Somehow. Zero fights him with all his might in battle and destroys Ragnarok, Dr. Wheel, and in the process he's destroyed himself. Zero won, but at the cost of his own life. Zero 4 is an amazing conclusion to the Zero series. It is a continuation of the X series, well up to X5. 6 through 8 were not supposed to exist, but you know, Capcom and money. But the Zero games and the Battle Network games are the only Mega Man series to have actual conclusions, which makes their games feel so much fuller. There's a reason I really love the Battle Network series. The gameplay is solid. I will say, if you jump right into Zero 4, it may be harder to get a handle on Zero himself. You really should be starting with 1, moving your way up to 4 and enjoying the series, story, and get a mastery of the controls as well. Zero 4 can be very challenging if you're not ready. And that is where it differs a lot from the Battle Network games. You can pick any of those up in any order, although you should do 1 to 6, but what can I say, I started with Battle Network 2. Zero is harder to do that. A larger part of this is it seemed more like Zero 3 could have ended the series, but they kept going. A trend in Mega Man games. If the Wheel of Destiny chooses 3, I'll go into that a little bit more, but regardless, Zero had a great ending with 4 though. I highly recommend this game after playing 1, 2, and 3 in proper order. What are your thoughts on the Zero series? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and share these videos. And thank you to all of my subscribers. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network. And with over 300 entries, there were not many Jurassic Park ones on this list, but we pulled one, guys. Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo. Jurassic Park was huge in the 90s, guys. The movie was ground and record-breaking, and in the era of video games to go along with the release of movies and even shows were a huge thing. This is how we got a home improvement video game, people. I never played it, so it's not on the Wheel of Destiny, thank goodness. Back to the proper topic at hand, the SNES Jurassic Park is a loose continuation, and I do mean loose, or a different continuity, or alternate dimension, or multiverse. Look, the developers were told to get the dinosaur game out now. Who cares if it makes no sense? In the game, you're playing as Dr. Alan Grant, and you're commissioned to escape the island, of course. Although the actual things you need to do are never really spelled out, except for sometimes helpful, sometimes confusing pop-ups from the other characters from the movies giving you clues, or Mr. DNA giving you some dino facts, which I love, except for the mini moments I'm running for my life. Grant will have weapons to take down the dinos as you travel Isla Nublar to collect all the eggs hidden on the island, turn on the motion sensors, secure the visitor center from raptors, kill all the dinosaurs on the ship, destroy the raptor's nest with nerve gas, and sending an SOS for an escape. A lot of these are semi-plot points from the book, so I assume development started during the production of the movie, so they didn't know what the final movie was actually going to be, and what was going to be taken from the book and not. To complete these tasks, you are in a top-down view unless you go into buildings, and you get this third-person shooter Doom vibe. Honestly, these sections are a bit nerve-wracking. You don't know what's going to be behind every door, and really there's no objective marker. You can spend a long time trying to find the eggs, the right keycards to get into certain rooms. Maybe you need to travel across the island multiple times. Oh look, I ran out of ammo. And then I have to restart because a T-Rex popped out of the woods and ate me. And the game does not have a save function or passwords. Yes, passwords were still a thing in the SNES era. This led to this game probably not being beaten by many young fans, or even older ones. Including myself, I've never beaten this game. It's on my to-do list to do a Let's Play, as I have the Classic Collection on the Switch, and I got footage from it for this video. But honestly, this game is a challenge, and from what I've seen, even if you have a guide, it's an uphill battle. And as much as I want to recommend this game to everyone, challenge or not, it's still enjoyable, but only if you're a Jurassic Park fan. Where the Evolution games, yeah, being a Jurassic Park fan is helpful, I could tell anyone who likes a zoo-like simulator game would enjoy the Jurassic World Evolutions games. With Jurassic Park SNES, I absolutely can't. The DNA of the series is too ingrained. Even the nods to the novels and those points would be lost to some more casual fans. The graphics were impressive for the time, for sure though. And that probably got some more people into it, but not so much nowadays. I recommend this game if you're a Jurassic Park fan, or if you're up for just a challenging video game. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network's 31 Days of Review. Have you ever played this game? And let me know what your favorite dinosaur is in the comments. We don't ask that enough as a society. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. And once again, I want to thank all my subscribers. I'm not only here because of you guys. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to Day 10 of the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. Oh, Star Fox, how I feel so bad for your series. And how I feel bad for Assault. This was the sequel that everyone wanted from Star Fox 64. People felt betrayed by Star Fox Adventures. The fans wanted another rail shooter. A few things first. Avenger is a really good game and I will die on that hill. Secondly, the reception of this and Command led to 2 more games in the series, both being remakes of the original story with Star Fox 64 DS and Star Fox Zero. They really think that original story is worth retelling that many times. Spoilers, it's kinda not. Like seriously, 64 was already a remake of the first game that came out on the SNES. How many times are we really gonna spend reimagining it? I'm off topic, aren't I? Anyways, Assault takes place after the events of Star Fox Adventures, which was right after 64. Andross has been defeated, and a semi-peace had filled the Lylat system until Andross's nephew and former Star Wolf pilot Andrew is controlling the Venom army. As Team Star Fox is dealing with him, a mechanical insect-type creature seemingly kills Andrew and his forces, and then set their sights on Team Star Fox. They bring it down and find out that they are Aporoids, a machine-like race that is bent on assimilating the entire galaxy. Every space thing has to have some sort of assimilation race, don't they? And the team must get an undamaged memory core so they can figure out their full plans and where their home world is located. In the meantime, Pigma, another former Star Wolf pilot, steals one of them, and with the help of Star Wolf, the team is in hot pursuit. Only they find Pigma is infected. Well, Pigma did get Fox's father killed, so time for him to die. While defending the planet Saria from Adventure, Corneria and General Pepper are infected. The team launch an attack on the Aporoid homeworld, and Rob 64 and Peppy crash the Great Fox into a barrier to let Team Star Wolf and Fox into the homeworld, and it looks like they died in the process. The team find the Aporoid Queen, destroy her and the homeworld, and the galaxy is saved. And Peppy and Rob are okay. Along with the main story, this game promoted a multiplayer mode heavy. You battled out on land and sky with different weapons to take down your opponents. But this was overshadowed before it was even released. Assault released in 2005, and the year before, Halo 2 released with a superior multiplayer experience and online to boot. It's sad though, because the multiplayer is a lot of fun, but at the time getting 3 others to play a couch multiplayer was difficult. Even if you did, Melee or Double Dash was what people mostly wanted to play. The story was alright. I respect it as time has gone on just because of how weird the Star Fox series has gone, and just like I said, retelling the first game over and over again. It really feels like Nintendo doesn't know what to do with it. At the time of release, I do remember thinking, the game is alright, and really that is mostly how I still feel. Assimilation species stories are just not really something I gravitate to, but Star Trek has proven that it is a deep well for many people and they enjoy it. If you're a Star Fox fan, yes, you should really play this game and see the direction the series was actually going towards at one point. A direction I do hope we get back to. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network. Did you ever play this game? Do you enjoy where Star Fox is in its series? Or where it's supposed to be? Or I guess we haven't really had anything since the Wii U, but then there was Starlink. I'm getting off topic, guys. Let me know what you think about the game. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. Today is gonna be spooky, even though Halloween is like 10 months away. We're looking at the GameCube release title, Luigi's Mansion. This game broke the mold, in which I mean everyone was confused why there wasn't a Mario title at launch. I mean Super Mario Bros. For the NES, Super Mario World for the SNES, and then Super Mario 64 for the N64. How could the GameCube do this? No wonder the GameCube failed. This is all Luigi's fault. All things I've legitimately heard about the GameCube and Luigi's Mansion. Then you get people who actually play it and they're like, oh yeah, this game is actually good. So let's review. The plot follows that Luigi in his first starring role has won a mansion. I'd like that please. Or even win a normal 3-bedroom 2-bath. I'm flexible, I don't need a mansion. Luigi goes to the mansion to find it is less than a desirable state, which I feel you, Luigi. Looking at homes and all the pictures look great, and then you go inside and you see cat pee everywhere and holes in the wall or worse. Luigi discovers ghosts are haunting the mansion and meets Professor Egad, who equips him with the Poltergust to capture the ghost and help him find Mario, who went to the mansion before him. While investigating the house, you discover Mario is trapped in a painting.
Ironic.
And Luigi sets out to capture the ghost and boos that are littered in the mansion to not only save his brother, but to ensure the mansion has equity for when he sells it eventually. You finally get a key to the basement where King Boo is holding the Mario painting, and King Boo unleashes Bowser, or a puppet Bowser, because you literally blow his head off to reveal King Boo. After weakening the king, you capture him in the Poltergust, save your brother, and you save Luigi's credit score. This is a quick game, but it's so much fun. I'm not about graphical leaps when it comes to games. Graphics are not a huge selling point for me. Now, they can help you get lost in environments, and I love that, but jumping from the N64 to GameCube was almost as shocking as the SNES to 64. Almost. The game just looks so clean and bright and less blocky. The control can take a little time to get used to though. The GameCube controller is still top tier. Moving Luigi and the Poltergust and everything took a little bit of time to get used to. And like I said, it's a quick game, but that can be bad or good. You collect money as you go through the mansion, and depending on your final amount, if your mansion score is different, it can encourage some replayability. But with the replayability, the ghost combat can get very repetitive. Even towards the end of the first run through, it was getting boring to capture 50 boos, and then the basic ghosts you wish you could avoid, but you can't, for the most part. The game also seems open, but progression is pretty linear. The boss fights are mostly a standout though. They add a lot of variety to ghost catching, and I really enjoyed most of them. This is a first great outing for Luigi as a title character. I'm glad we've gotten a few sequels, and I hope for more. A fourth Mansion game on the Switch 2 would be so much fun. I highly recommend this game, as long as you give the controls some time to make sense, especially if you're using the NSO version. Thank you for joining me here at 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Have you had a chance to play this game? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. What do you get when Mario fuses with a Battle Royale type game? You get Super Mario Bros. 35. Oh, I'm sorry, the limited available game Super Mario Bros. 35. But we'll get to that. Oh, trust me. So Mario Bros. 35 was released to go along with the 35th anniversary of the Mario series. In it, you and 35 other players from around the world compete to see who can be the last Mario standing while going through classic Super Mario Bros. Stages. By defeating enemies, you can send them to other players to act as more obstacles. You also start with a timer of 35 seconds. You run out of time, you're out of the Battle Royale, but defeating Goombas and more will add more to your time. So getting baddies from an opponent can be a blessing in disguise at times. Additionally, by collecting 20 coins, you can then spin the item roulette, which can get you items to help you. Super mushrooms, fire flowers, and even a Starman. Now on paper it seems simple, and how could matches be too complicated? Oh well, the game was actually pure chaos. It was all in real time, and you could be ignored, or you could have people targeting you and get overwhelmed. The timer also moved a lot faster than you would think. 35 seconds go by like that. I would snap my fingers, but I don't know how. Do you focus on getting more time or distance? Items or coins? Flagpoles or dodging? It was so much fun, and it was a great way to help celebrate the 35th anniversary. Plus, it was free! Yes, a free download on the Switch. The problem with this game, the reason you may not even remember this game, April 1st, 2021. This date killed Super Mario Bros. 35. You see, this was a limited release, and this is a sensitive topic for many. Super Mario 3D All-Stars was a limited release as well, but if you bought it, you had it forever. This was a digital game only, and the servers were disconnected as of April 1st, 2021, leaving the community, myself included, without a way to play it legitimately. And I say that word as I know there is probably a way to play it online and all that stuff, but that's not something I do. I don't like to look for things illegally like that. No judgment if you do, but that's just me. So, why have such a small time frame now? Well, Nintendo says it was all about the celebration. Doug Bowser said this wasn't a plan going forward with other games, and so far it hasn't really been. It was just head scratching that this was a choice. They could have made it an extra mode in Super Mario Maker 2 or something, or let us pay to keep playing, to keep it alive. It was popular, people really enjoyed it. They could have added other Mario skins, they could have done Mario World, Mario Bros 3, Mario Brothers 2 for even, well, that'd be a little bit more hard to do, but you get my drift. Alas, it's basically lost to us to time. The game was a fun blast from the past with a twist, and if you could play it, I would highly recommend it. Perhaps one day it will be unlocked from the Nintendo Vault. For now, we have memories, frustrations when you screwed up, and celebrations when you won. Thank you for joining me here for the 31 Days on the Nintendo Network. Do you ever get a chance to play Super Mario Bros. 35? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Today we're looking at the Wii game, Kirby's Epic Yarn. And let's take a step back and talk about Kirby. Beyond Mario, what other Nintendo-owned franchise has this much diversity? No, really think about it. Kirby has its traditional platformers, racing games, 3D platformers, whatever you want to call it, Rainbow Curse, and even a cute 2D side-scroller that honestly admits some of the biggest Kirby staples. Kirby can't even fly or inhale to gain abilities in Kirby's Epic Yarn. He just changes into shapes as he's been transformed into yarn. It's almost like it wasn't meant to be a Kirby game to begin with. Oh, it wasn't. It was its own thing, but developers didn't think it had enough appeal, and really, I don't blame them. The game is not a Kirby game per se, but something original that had a Kirby overlay on top of it. Nintendo likes to do that, don't they? Let's get into the plot though. Kirby was minding his own business as he normally does and wanting to eat tomatoes when he is transported to Patchland by Yin Yarn, an evil sorcerer. In Patchland, as mentioned, Kirby has lost his ability to inhale and fly, but can transform and whip Yarn. He saves Prince Fluff, the original protagonist from the game before Kirby had his overlay on it, and the two team up to stop the evil sorcerer and plan to bring together the 7 pieces of the magic yarn. There's no epic way to say magic yarn, is there? While they are on an adventure, Yin Yarn captures and places both King Dedede and Meta Knight under his control to throw as obstacles as a duo. Once Patchland is fixed, the no longer brainwashed Meta Knight informs Kirby that Yin Yarn is turning Dreamland into fabric. They travel to the yarn-infested Dreamland, defeat Yin Yarn, and restore Dreamland to its proper state, until its next apocalyptic event that is somehow connected to a cute side character. And if you don't know the Kirby series, you don't know how true that statement is. The developers of the game, Goodfeel, went on to make Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World, so they definitely know and like the craft look and feel that you get with these games. Thankfully for those games, they were made to be Yoshi games, and you could feel it. Again, this was an overlay. And honestly, the gameplay is a lot of fun, and Kirby does fit into the world mostly. You can see what the game was meant to be, and where Kirby was kind of just added. Except for the finale, you can take out Kirby and his world, and the game is still pretty much the same, for good or bad. But I do agree with the developers. In the era of the Wii, random games could easily and were overlooked with the sheer amount of shovelware games that are being produced and released, because the Wii was such a huge selling console and the casual market was quite lucrative. To put it in perspective, the GameCube had just a little bit over 600 titles released in its tenure. The Wii, over 1,200. So games are much more likely to be overlooked. But add a cute, rotund pink creature that eats a bunch of food and you can make money. Not that one, but you'd probably still make money with him there. At the end of the day, Kirby's Epic Yarn is honestly a lot of fun. It's not a Kirby game, and never really affected or changed the overall Kirby lore or world. Even in recent releases like Kirby Air Riders that has many nods and Easter eggs and more from every corner of the Kirby lore, Epic Yarn is nowhere to be seen that I've noticed. It's a solid game where you can have a good time, but if you're looking for a Kirby game because of your love for the formula, you may be saddened by the end result. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network. What are your thoughts on Kirby's Crafted Outing? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Discord. This is the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network and the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. You know, I understood the sheer possibility that I'd have more than one Pokemon video game to review, but what I didn't predict is both would not be mainline games. Legends is sort of, but isn't it? But it is, but oh well, who cares? Today, we're going to look at the definite side game, Pokemon Puzzle League for the Nintendo 64. Honestly, this game actually began development as Panel de Pon 64, a puzzle game that was also on the SNES as just Panel de Pon. It's now on the Super Nintendo NSO service if you're curious to play the game. You don't really need to know what's being said to know how to play a puzzle game, so enjoy. There actually is a plot in this though. You see, it takes place in the anime, seemingly after the end of the Indigo League and sometime before Johto, although I seriously doubt there's any canonicalness in this. But Ash is lounging by the pool and Professor Oak calls him as he was invited to the Puzzle League Championship. Never to back down from a challenge, Ash rushes off to face all of his rivals. You run into many of the Kanto gym leaders, friendly rivals, and then you face off against Gary for the championship. After defeating Gary, you face off against the true champion, Mewtwo. If you can defeat him, Ash is teleported back to the pool thinking it was all a dream. Of course, then he sees his trophy presented to him by Mewtwo. So it wasn't. Mewtwo likes that whole teleport you away and make you think it was a dream kind of thing, doesn't he? This is a puzzle game where you're matching symbols and colors and combos as your stack gets taller. Once you hit the top, you're done for. Higher combos will add more to your opponent's stack though. You can play the single player plot game, or you can just play against a computer or a friend on one-on-one. This game needs to be looked at by many different angles. See, I'm not a great puzzle game person. I normally suck at them and fail miserably. So younger me, who rented this from Blockbuster, didn't get very far. I honestly didn't know Mewtwo was in this until I replayed it for the NSO like a year or two ago when it came out. But I got it because I love me some Pokemons. And that is why Panel de Pon 64 evolved into Pokemon Puzzle League here in America, because they could easily market it better and sell even more. It worked on me. Even years later, I'm not the best at this game, but enjoyed it for the nostalgic factor. The game includes original lines from the original 4Kids anime cast, so there's a huge nostalgic appeal to it nowadays. The puzzle gaming part is solid from what I gather, and what I see online and asking others. I can only recommend this to either puzzle game enthusiast or Pokemon fan, in particular the anime. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Have you ever had a chance to play this game? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our Discord. And please continue to tune in to all 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Today we're going to be reviewing the amazingly titled Untitled Goose Game. Yep, a video game called Untitled Goose Game, as when the developers were submitted into a festival, they had yet to give it a proper name, and so they went with this. Some accounts state Some Like It Honk as an alternative title, but that one might be a bit of a joke. But this name did help create one of my favorite t-shirt designs that I sadly never got for myself. I really need to fix that one day. In Untitled Goose Game, you control a goose in a small English village. You're given tasks in each area to complete to move on to the next area to continue your spread of chaos. The goose has a few abilities like running, spreading its wings, dunking, and of course, honking. Many of the tasks involve stealth movement, hiding in bushes to wait for just the right moment, watching the farmer carefully to know just the right time to steal the carrots, or traumatizing children and scaring them into a phone booth. One of my favorite bits is when you trick a courier into taking you into a pub-like area after you seal yourself in a box. If you make a noise or you're found out, you have to try it all over again. As mentioned, each area has a list of tasks, but some tasks are optional, but are fun to pull off. After launch, the development team even added a multiplayer mode in which two players, controlling two geese, unleash chaos onto the world. That seems like an Avenger-level threat, people. The game is brimming with charm and character. The simple, almost blocky models harken back to the developer's inspiration from Super Mario 64. The game is super simple, but can be a bit challenging. There are tasks that really make you think and work out the exact plan before you can execute it properly. Something I have to note, and honestly I haven't mentioned very often in these 31 days of reviews, is the music. This game has ambiance and reactionary music, meaning it can be slow when still, but if someone is chasing you, it'll become more bombastic and high energy. It makes for an immersive game experience. It is a super short game though, although it being an indie game, there's a lot of grace there. But one thing I have noticed, and maybe this is a personal thing, my ADHD that's self-diagnosed, when I play with people or watch people playing, they're just kind of running around honking and it drives me up the wall. I honestly don't know why. In most other games I enjoy doing such things, but not in this one. What makes the goose any different? I just don't know. And really I don't have much else to say about the game. It is worth that price of $20 when it's not even on sale. Go buy it now. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network's 31 Days of Reviews. Should the goose be a fighter in the next Super Smash Bros. Game? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. And today I'm reviewing a game that I 100% purchased, 100% played, and 100% would never have gotten under normal circumstances. Samurai Warriors Chronicles for the 3DS. But is the game good? Yeah, let's talk a little bit here. Samurai Warrior Chronicles is a 3DS game based on the Warrior series. You probably know them best if you're a Nintendo fan for the Hyrule Warrior games, where you mow down hundreds of enemy soldiers on a large battlefield, the level usually ending in a harder boss fight. That's the simplistic, easy to digest version of it. It gets a lot deeper when you jump into dozens of different Warrior games though. The game formula can be a lot of fun. Taking down hordes of enemies is just satisfying. Samurai Warriors Chronicles is based on feudal Japan and takes place in different eras. I'm not really a history buff, so I have no clue if these are real people, events, if the blades of grass were even historically accurate, anything, but the base game can be fun. I will say I resonate with the Warrior games that have a theme I'm more into. Like, I really enjoy the Hyrule Warrior games, and to an extent the Fire Emblem Warriors. Its greatest issue and sin is that it just seems like it doesn't really matter what weapon you choose, you end up just having a sword all the time. I know there's more than just swords, but that's pretty much all I remember. But this game predates the Hyrule Warrior games. So why did I purchase it? Why did I put in hours and hours into this game? Well, the console itself is the culprit, the Nintendo 3DS. After everything was said and done, the Nintendo 3DS is looked back as a successful system that brought so many fun and enjoyable games that we all cherish, including myself, and has a strong lasting legacy to the point that in 2026 the price of used consoles are on the rise. What exactly is happening with the secondary market? But at the beginning of the 3DS's life, it was pretty rough, guys, if you don't recall. Day 1 had 15 games launching, which sounds good, and included Samurai Warriors Chronicles. But out of those 15 titles, this was the only one that I was kinda interested in. And that's stretching that word kind of. In fact, I looked back and I was really discontent with this being my choice. I was never a fan of the Nintendo games. Pilot Wings seemed mission-based and that just seemed eh. And continuing to look at this list, beyond my I must own every Nintendo console at launch disease, I can't understand why I wanted it at launch, beyond I knew bigger, better games were coming. So really, it's an okay game, but I don't think I would or could recommend it. There are better designed and bigger games in the Warrior series, even on the 3DS system. Have you ever played any Warrior games, or this one in particular? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome back to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network, and today we get to review one of my all-time favorite video games, Banjo-Kazooie. So obviously I recommend it, but let's look into the reasons why at least. First off, the plot follows the bear Banjo and the Breegull Kazooie, a species of bird that was created for the game. Matching a real animal with a fake bird was an odd choice, but it worked out. This game was made in England, so I'm just gonna count that being the reason why. Banjo's sister Tooty is kidnapped by the witch Gruntilda, who speaks in rhyme the entire game, so she can steal her beauty? Okay, plot's got a plot, I guess. Banjo must scale Spiral Mountain to enter Gruntilda's lair, which is literally outside his front door. How did the realtor sell that view? Inside, Banjo must travel through 9 worlds and collect notes, jiggy pieces, Jinjos, and more to make his way to the top of the lair. Banjo's friend Bottle comes along, somehow through a wormhole of time and space, I assume, to help give the duo new moves, along with Mumbo Jumbo, who uses magic to transform Banjo and Kazooie into different creatures to help in their adventure. You make it to the top, battle through Gruntilda's game show board game, testing all of your knowledge from your adventure, and save Tooty. You then confront Gruntilda in an epic battle and finish her off by summoning a Jinjo god-like thing to deliver the final blow, and she falls off her lair and is stuck under a boulder, somehow not dying instantly. And canonically in this game, she stays there for 2 years. But then does she actually die? She has bones in the next game, but I'm overthinking it. Banjo-Kazooie is pure 3D platforming fun. The N64 was bursting with tons of different 3D platformers, especially after the success of Super Mario 64. But Mario 64 was a launching point for games like Banjo. The controls are tighter, the camera, although not perfect, was really good and a lot better than other games. The worlds were imaginative and not repetitive, characters left and right as well in each world. Although not the very original in this, but many people will place this as the start of the Collectathon craze, as Rareware, who made this, would go on to make even more insane Collectathon game types like Banjo-Tooie, the sequel, and Donkey Kong 64. This is a game I truly love. I can replay it over and over again and never get bored. In my youth, I learned most every corner of this game. But it does have a few little issues, mostly due to the era that it existed in. First off, we're talking about like the OG N64 version. Let's say you're on Mumbo's Mountain and collect 75 notes. The game saves that you collected them for the purpose of note doors and such, but if you want to go back and get all 100 from the world, well, all 100 notes are respawned in the world. That includes that 75 that you've already picked up. So really, when you wanted to do this and you wanted to collect everything, you kind of had to do it in one sitting. And saving the game and turning it off to come back later, of course, would reset it as well. Additionally, a character that didn't make sense to really have other than because, I think they're going for the Wicked Witch of the West and the other witch that I can't think of from the movie and the Wizard of Oz, and I'm off script right now, so I'm going to try to realign. Gruntilda has a sister that gives random pieces of information that seem pointless in the moment, but is useful for that game show I mentioned. Unless you know that going in and write down these random facts, it could cause some unfair issues, honestly. I get what they were going for, but it just seemed a little bit of extra that wasn't needed. But really, this is a must-play game for anyone who's a fan of 3D platformers. There's been a resurgence of interest in them lately, and if games like Gex and Bugsby are getting collections of new games, I don't see why Banjo couldn't. Alright, I almost forgot. Microsoft owns Rare now. Silly me. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network 31 Days of Review. Have you had a chance to play Banjo-Kazooie? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and please join our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. You know, it is amazing what the power of one game can do. And a game like Tales of Symphonia is a game that has done a lot for me. But let's first get into the plot and then we'll talk about other things. And I'll try to keep it brief. This is an RPG and a long one at that. Also, do I need to say spoilers for an old game like this? Well, there's your warning. In Tales of Symphonia, you are Lloyd Irving, living in a small village alongside your best friend Genus, his sister who's also their teacher in school, Rain, and Colette, the Chosen One. Colette was born to help with the shortage of mana, a source of energy that is used on most everyday life. Colette is to travel and unlock the seals of the world to provide more mana and help defeat the Desians, a race that is capturing and experimenting on humans. The Desians obviously see themselves above humans. Look, I'm going to give some quick notes because, again, this is an RPG and a lot happens. Plus, I want you to experience the game yourself. Seriously. Through your journeys, you meet up with other fighters who will join your band of characters like Sheena, Regal, and Persea, along with Zelos, another Chosen One, and Kratos. Not that one. This world is so rich with lore. A war 4,000 years ago, fighting factions vying for the mana. Some deep themes. Does the need of the many outweigh the need of the few, or even the one? Is one life precious enough to save? Are there more options out there than the ones you are faced with? These are powerful themes, and only just a few that you are faced with. Additionally, the battle system is fun as well. Lloyd is the main protagonist, but really you can choose any of the characters to fight as in your team of 4. This is an action RPG, so you move around the field, choosing your target, performing combos with your arts as well. Changing a single character in your team of 4 can create a new dynamic. Do you want a more physical force of team that heads into the fray with Lloyd, Regal, Persea, and maybe Kratos? Do you try for a more magic-heavy team with Genus, Rain, Zelos, and Sheena? Or find a balance? One of the best quirks of this game, and all the Tales of games for a fact, is at the end of battles, different characters will have different interactions, and sometimes depending on how the battle went, you could get other interactions. To continue the building of characters, optional skits will play with them talking, being humorous, or just hinting at a big battle ahead. I'm being serious, this tiny video does not give the game enough time to shine. The Tales of games before and after have all been fun, and I'm a big fan of them, but Symphonia really helped not only myself but many others find this series on the GameCube. One of the biggest things about the Tales of games, including this, is it incentivizes replayability with multiple playthroughs with a great system. You can buy 10 times XP and other things to make the next run through faster or even more fun. I highly recommend this game because this was the game that really got me into RPGs. Helped me to understand how a longer game can help build emotions, characters, make you care more for the world and what happens to it. Like you have a stake in things. This game has influenced so many parts of me, my life, my family even. I mean, my oldest daughter's name was heavily influenced by this game, Colette. The other part was inspired by my wife's past in musical theater with Cosette from Les Miserables. So her name comes from both pieces of our life, which I absolutely love. So I thought how appropriate it would be to have Colette finish the video. Take it, Colette.
Thank you so much for watching the episode of 31 Days in Nintendo Network. Have you ever played this game? If you did, what was your preferred team? It better have me in it. Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to help support my dad, and join us on his Discord. This is Colette with the Nintendo Network signing off.
Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. The Paper Mario series has had a weird identity issue. The first 2 games are pretty straightforward turn-based RPGs with a single partner in battle. Super Paper Mario was just a 2D platformer. Color Splash used a card-based battling system, so Mario meets Yu-Gi-Oh! So I can get behind that. Origami King created a 3D battlefield with a ring system, and then Sticker Star had stickers. And the identity issue continues deeper, with the majority of people, on the internet at least, stating they want the series to go back to its roots with the original and Thousand Year Door. Origami King does add some of those elements, but not enough to make the fans happy, and Sticker Star was the least well received from the community, although it sold more than the original two. But let's talk about Color Splash, which sold the least of any entry. Thank you, Wii U. In Color Splash, Mario and Peach are given a letter from Prism Island, and they discover it's a folded, colorless, lifeless toad. This got kinda dark already. They travel to the island to find much of the island's color is missing. Mario runs into Huey, a paint can, who joins him on his adventure to restore color to Prism Island and collect the big paint star. You travel to different areas, collecting the pieces of the star, defeating the Koopalings. In the Wii U era, they were really pushing for their return, whether good or bad, and you slowly discover that Bowser wanted to gain the paint's ability with a rainbow painted shell, but the paint mixes together and it becomes black, overtaking all of Bowser and creating Black Bowser. Oh goody, we're gonna get the Goku Black story arc. Black Bowser continues to send his minions to literally suck the color out of the island, and Mario, along with a cameo from Luigi on a cart on Rainbow Road, go to fight Bowser on his floating castle. Mario and Huey find that Black Bowser is mass-producing more black paint to infect the world. They battle him and defeat him, destroying the factory, but Huey sacrifices itself to absorb all the black paint and flies into space to make sure it is destroyed safely. In a post-credit scene, Huey falls back to Earth and into the fountain in the main plaza. The main gimmick of the game is to restore the color to the island through your hammer and collect coins and items and cards. Cards will cause minimal to massive damage and even unlock how to defeat certain villains and whatnot. To utilize the cards, you need to paint them, so there is a management system to add more depth into that battle system. But the depth is still pretty shallow. Most of the cards kind of all mesh together. The repainting can get mundane and towards the end more of a chore. Where this game shines though is the dialogue. The game has some hilarious lines in it that can really catch you off guard. Yes, the toads are pretty much all the generic toads that you see all the time, and I know that is a point of contention for many, but for me it's never been a huge issue. But I do prefer the more colorful, unique toads and other citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom, absolutely. But it's just not a deal breaker. Overall, Color Splash is an alright game. I think if you enjoy a more casual RPG, then give it a go. If you're a classic Paper Mario loyalist, I don't know if you're actually going to enjoy this. The humor is there, and that's a big part of it, so perhaps. Thank you for tuning in to 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Have you played Color Splash? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. And yes, we got a Battle Network game, guys. Seriously, the Wheel of Destiny is making some interesting choices for this event. Still no Zelda game, and pretty much all of them are on this list beyond crossbow training. But hey, I have gotten 2 Mega Man games, and today we're focused on Mega Man Battle Network 3, Blue and White. Battle Network 3 was the first game in the series to split into 2 versions, something that would continue all the way into the final game of the series, Battle Network 6, with Cyber Beast Gregar and Cyber Beast Falzar. And this trend continued and even evolved with the Star Force games, with the first Star Force game getting 3 versions because money, I guess? Pokemon was really an influence in this here, and much like Pokemon, the differences are minimal and the plot is the same. The World's 3 evil organization and the evil Dr. Wily are back. As they begin their evil scheme, a worldwide net battling tournament begins to take place to find the strongest net battler. Dr. Wily wants to revive Alpha, known in Japan as Proto, but they couldn't use that here because of Protoman.exe, whose Japanese name is Blues.exe. Anyways, Alpha is the original internet for the world that was developed years ago. It gained sentience, as things tend to do in these situations, and the scientists who created it wanted to stop it, broke it up into pieces using Terra codes that Wily is now after. Additionally, before they found it was Alpha, they blamed Base.exe for the damage and tried to delete him, but he survived. We're going to skip a lot, and I mean a lot of plot details because we are on crunch time, people. Lan Hikari and Mega Man.exe confront Wily and Base, who both get absorbed into Alpha as it wakes up. Wily was on the internet due to a device that was in the plot. Lan also is online, so humans can now go online. It's kind of like that episode of Futurama.
Get ready for fun, Fry. Nowadays, we have a type of game played entirely on video.
Mega Man.exe defeats Alpha, and they get into what's called a vision burst of Lan and Mega Man.exe's grandfather, Dr. Hikari, Of course, we know him as Dr. Light. Oh yeah, and Mega Man.exe is actually Land's brother who was dying after birth, so their father used an experimental process to graft his soul and DNA into a NetNavi and thus created Mega Man.exe. I know that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense within this world. Sort of. But Dr. Hakari gives him a letter meant for their father, and Alpha is trying to consume the two before he dies. Mega Man.exe sacrifices himself to save Land. Afterwards, the letter is actually a backup of Mega Man.exe, and their dad revives him and saves him. Hooray! I mean, we didn't think the title character was going to die in the third game anyway, so... In-game, Mega Man can style change into different abilities and elements, all depending on your net battling strategies. This leads to some fun combos, and each version got a new style change unique to that version. The story was originally conceived to be the last in the series, which obviously didn't happen, but you can tell it kind of booked in the story of Dr. Wily and everything else. If so, it would have been a solid ending. I'm still glad the series continued with 5 and 6, and for some reason completely skipped over 4. Oh boy. Honestly, I cannot recommend this game enough. The Battle Network series is one of my all-time favorite series, and where the network part of the Nintendo Network came from. It's insane how much of that series has influenced me in this channel. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network's 31 Days of Reviews. What are your thoughts on the Battle Network series as a whole? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network, and these 31 days of videos have been coming up with some fun games, honestly. Today we're looking at Kid Icarus Uprising for the Nintendo 3DS, and honestly probably one of the best written dialogues of any game. But quick quips aren't everything, right? So let's spread our wings and talk about the plot. Uprising is the resurrection of the series by Sakurai between Brawl and Smash for 3DS and Wii U. It plays very differently from the original, as that was more of a side-scroller, and this is a third-person view with part of it being a rail shooter in the sky while flying, and other parts is using Pit on the ground going through a ground section. In the game, Pit is given missions from Palutena to stop the evil Medusa. Going from area to area to stop her commanders, Pit destroys a mirror and his doppelganger Dark Pit, or Pitu, is born. Once Pit defeats Medusa, it is found out she was just a puppet from the real villain, Hades.
What? Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Hades is using war for the mortals to gain more souls and power. This causes the goddess of nature, Viridi, to come and fight all the armies as the earth is being hurt from all these wars. On top of that, apparently an alien race starts to invade the world and the deities work together to fend them off. I don't remember that part of the Hercules TV show, but you know, whatever. Anyways, 3 years later, because that is a thing, Pit is trapped in a ring and Palutena is evil. Time skips are weird in animes. Pit, in the ring, meets Magnus, who he possesses and helps get his own body back, and then Viridi and Dark Pit help them save Palutena, who is possessed by Chaos Ken. Pit saves Dark Pit from a final attack, nearly killing himself. Taking Pit to a spring to restore his power, Dark Pit loses part of his power in the process. This leads Pit to take on Hades, and with the help of the new Sacred Treasures, Pit defeats Hades. After writing and now reading this, really playing the game is the best way to do this justice. Too bad 3DSs are getting expensive. But really the dialogue and the banter between the characters seems so organic. It is why the game is so loved. And other than Sakurai leading both productions, Pit, Palutena, and Viridi do the banter for Super Smash Bros. For each character, and it's a lot of fun. Honestly, playing the game is probably its biggest crutch. The game came with this, a 3DS stand, as you utilize the controls and the touchscreen all at once, so this freed up your hands to play it. As annoying as it was, you could honestly play without it. I'm pretty sure it's what I did. The game was originally developed to be a launch title for 3DS, but was delayed. This meant during development the team was working on new, not really used before hardware. I think this stand and the overutilized controls caused a lot of headaches, and honestly you can see that the development of a new hardware caused some of these headaches. But the soul of the game is 100% intact, and thankfully that really does so much for the experience. Truthfully, get this game if you haven't had a chance. It's worth playing, and I wish I could play it again for the first time. And I wouldn't expect something like this again, truthfully. Another Kid Icarus, yes, but not like this. Not something so special, which in retrospect is pretty sad when you think about it. but we can at least love what we have had in that experience. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Have you had this chance to play this masterpiece, a true masterpiece? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. How does it take this long to get a Zelda game? And we're starting things off pretty strong with The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the Wii. It's weird that I have to specify that. Twilight Princess was originally meant for the GameCube, but as the game was continuously delayed, as Zelda games are, it was adapted to the Wii as well, and released on both consoles, including being a launch title for the Wii. The story follows Link in a small village when a team of Bulbins kidnap a bunch of children in the village. Link pursues them but is dragged into the Twilight and digivolves into Wolf Linkmon. Wolf Link is captured and put into prison where he meets up with the imp-like creature Midna, who leads him to Princess Zelda. She tells them of Zant, the usurper of the Twilight. He took over Hyrule Castle, and Twilight has now invaded Hyrule, leaving the citizens as spirits or something. Wolf Link must collect the Light Spirit Orbs to save the different areas of Hyrule and to transform back to his human form. Eventually, Midna and Link are confronted by Zant, who steals the fragments they have collected, forcing Link to be Wolf Link and using the light to hurt Midna almost to death, who is a Twilight resident herself. Wolf Link takes Midna to Zelda, who tells them he needs the Master Sword, and then sacrifices herself for Midna. And we never see her again. Midna helps with finding the Master Sword, and goes to the Gerudo Desert to find the Mirror of Twilight, the only way to get to the Twilight Realm. But Zant had shattered it, and the sages explained to them that they once used the mirror to try to banish Ganondorf after failing to execute him. Oh man, I was really hoping Zant to be the main boss, but we all know Ganondorf's now the main villain, right? I mean, I knew that going into this, but yeah. You confront Zant and defeat him, and then you have to confront Ganondorf. Gasp. But you have to fight a Zelda-possessed puppet, then Ganon Beast, then a duel with Ganondorf. And this duel is intense. You feel the pressure. You feel how the land of Hyrule is on your shoulders. Once you defeat him, and I'm sure we'll never see him again, the Light Spirits heal Midna and turn her back into her real form before she was cursed by Zant. Midna returns to the Twilight Realm while destroying the mirror, severing the link between her world and Hyrule. With Hyrule rebuilding, Link goes off from his village to parts unknown. Twilight Princess truly feels like a culmination of the evolution of the 3D Zeldas at that point. From Ocarina of Time establishing the formula and evolving it from the 2D adventures, Majora's Mask giving some more darker tones along with more interesting side characters, to Wind Waker making exploration deeper from the Great Sea to Hyrule Field, and allowing for a more animated and interesting companion with the King of Red Lions and Midna. The items you obtain are more unique, with from the ball and chain to the double hook shot to a literal Beyblade that you ride to destroy a giant skeleton monster. I can't make this stuff up. Things that held it back a bit was a very slow opening, although nowhere near as slow or hand-holdy as Skyward Sword. The colors were also kind of very dull. Wind Waker is my all-time favorite Zelda game, and I love how bright and colorful and alive the world feels. Even outside the Twilight areas, the game just feels like there's a dull cover over it, which is okay, but not my style. Still, the game is so much fun and one that is easy to revisit time and time again. I couldn't recommend Twilight Princess enough. Here's to getting a port on Switch 2 or even the GameCube version on the NSO. Thank you for joining me here on the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. I honestly cannot thank you all enough for the journey so far. What are your thoughts on Twilight Princess? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network, and today we're going to be talking about a more forgotten Sonic the Hedgehog game from the Game Boy Advance, Sonic Battle. But the amount of lore in this game is kind of insane. Maybe not lore, as I don't think it's considered canon anymore.
Non-canonical! Non-canonical!
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what is canon for Sonic anymore. It gets kind of confusing. But let's just talk about Sonic Battle. Battle is a fighting game, shocker with that name, on a 3D type field. Honestly, this seems like Smash would have done if it had a GBA version. But you can choose from some of your favorite Sonic characters to battle on the field, utilize different moves, and even a bit of customization. The game itself is about Dr. Eggman discovering a robot from his grandfather Gerald's notebook and can't get it to work. So he discards it, which seems a bit out of character for sure, but Sonic discovers it. Emerald becomes friends with the gang and starts to learn to laugh about love again. Really, this story is hard to tackle as there are multiple campaigns ranging from Sonic to Tails to even Rouge, and Emerald gets his own arc. This also gives all the characters a chance to have some characterizations, and really they hit the nail on the head with all the characters. Through the campaign, Emerald becomes more and more alive, so to say. He gains humanity from all of the other characters, mostly Cream. It's funny as they did an Emerald arc on the Sonic X anime and Cream had to destroy him. With a limited number of characters, it does feel like each character is unique in their battle skills. Well, except Emerald, who can utilize the moves of all the characters he is around. So it's like a mix of Cell from Dragon Ball Z and that one android from the Justice League cartoon that scans the heroes and gains their powers. The game's biggest issues really is that it was on the GPA. It limited multiplayer and made it mostly just you facing CPUs, which hey, I did a lot, but I was also wanting to play with people, but I needed link cables and them to be patient enough and have the game as well. I think it really held the game back, along with it being a different type of Sonic game, which shouldn't scare people away, but it did. I recommend playing this game for some fun, unique fighting with your favorite Sonic characters. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days Nintendo Network. Have you ever played this game? And who's your favorite Sonic character? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network. Yoshi really has come into his own since his original solo outing with Yoshi's Island on the SNES. But the past few, Woolly World and now Crafted World, has had them moving towards a more craft-looking theme. And although Yoshi's next game coming to the Switch 2, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, it really does seem to keep that theme going. I like that the series is wanting to keep its own identity, while when Yoshi is in Mario games, he's just the normal Yoshi we're used to. Makes the games really stand out. The plot follows that the Yoshis, living on their own named island, but come on, I'm going to just keep calling it Isla Nublar, where at the top of the summit is the Sun Dream Stone, which can make anyone's dreams come true. Because apparently they're just sitting on this power and do nothing with it. That makes sense. It's 5 gems, so this is just the Infinity Gauntlet, isn't it? This just happened a lot during this area, guys, trust me. Kamek and Baby Bowser come to steal the Sun Dream Stone, but end up sending the 5 stones to different worlds. And the Yoshis set off to go and find them. Once the Yoshis find them all, Kamek and Baby Bowser steal them, and Baby Bowser creates a giant mech to take the Yoshis down. The Yoshis obviously win, and the Kamek makes Baby Bowser grow super large. The Yoshis are triumphant once again, and unite the gems into the Sun Dream Stone. They use it to gain a flying ship. That's the biggest dream these Yoshis have. Okay. Crafted World really is a ton of fun, but lacks a few things on a few different levels. And while they do utilize the crafted aesthetic very well, there isn't a ton of difficulty in the main game itself. If you're going to 100% the game, you'll find more frustration than challenge, although it can sometimes throw out a more rewarding challenge here and there. Additionally, the soundtrack is very, very mid, especially placing it next to Woolly World, which has some stellar tracks. You honestly play some of these levels wishing you could play those songs from Woolly World. Although I did enjoy the aesthetics, I don't think I enjoyed them as much as Woolly World. I think at the end of the day, the game felt like a step back. Not a large step back, as I really do enjoy the game. And that's probably its biggest sin. After playing this, I want to go play Woolly World because I like it better. Where I can play Mario Odyssey and love it, and want to play Mario 64 because I love both games so much. I recommend the game honestly, although I would say play this before Woolly World. Go backwards. A weird thing to recommend. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network in our 31 Days of Retro Reviews. What's your favorite Yoshi game? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network's 31 Days of Retro Reviews. Today we get to revisit Wuhu Island with Wii Sports Resort, the sequel to the best-selling game on the Nintendo Wii, Wii Sports. I mean, it is the #1 Wii game as it was bundled with the Wii for so long. Heck, looking at the top sold games of the console, Wii Sports Resort is number 3? Did not know that. But then you find out it was eventually bundled with the system as well. Heck, looking at these top 10 sold games for the system, you can 100% see why Nintendo went down the casual crowd route for the Wii's lifetime, and then into the Wii U. Do I agree with it? Yeah, no. But I can see how suits in a boardroom helped make this decision, unfortunately. As mentioned, Resort is the sequel to the original game and expands the roster of sports you can play. The original had golf, bowling, boxing, tennis, and baseball, but Sports Resort has a few other games and has multiple modes for different ones. Swordplay, wakeboarding, frisbee golf, archery, basketball, table tennis, power cruising, canoeing, cycling, and air sports. It expanded the games and even the world as it now takes place on Woohoo Island, something underutilized honestly. And I don't really mean in this game. This was seemingly becoming a hub world for a lot of Nintendo and then kind of suddenly dropped. It was even a Mario Kart level at one point. The game's controls got an enhancement as well with the inclusion of Wii Motion Plus. This little thing was included in the game, which was meant to help and allow more complex motions and motion controls with the Wii mode itself that it couldn't do by itself. So it makes the motions more motion-y. But does it actually make a difference? I honestly don't know. I mean, it kind of must have, right? It didn't have any hate online, although it was the early internet where people didn't jump off the handle for no reason and spread misinformation for the sake of clout. Silly soapbox keeps getting under my feet. But is the game any good? Yes. Yes, it is. It just didn't seem to have the impact the original Wii Sports did. This is why you hear much more about that than this, which was, by all accounts, a superior sequel. Well, let's be honest, the Wii, specifically the start of its lifetime, was lightning in a bottle, and honestly began to change the DNA of how video games are viewed and even accepted. The Wii caused a ripple effect in the industry as well, with Microsoft creating the Kinect, and PlayStation making this. And Nintendo putting the original Wii Sports into the system packaging just made it a household name. I think I'm talking more about the original than Resort, and that really is how it is. Resort is a ton of fun and deserves more recognition. Switch Sports, a game that just recently got purchased into our household, has been a lot of fun so far, but honestly I think Resort tops it. So grab Wii Motion Plus and a Wiimote and play this game. Guys, thank you again for joining me in all these videos. We are so far in this endeavor, it has just been crazy. So once again, thank you for continuing to support us here at the Nintendo Network in these 31 days of the Nintendo Network. Did you ever get a chance to play the Wii Sports Resort? Let me know in the comments below and your favorite sport. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 days of the Nintendo Network, and today we are reviewing Metroid Prime. Seriously, this month has been so many great games. Knowing my luck though, day 31 is going to be something truly atrocious. Back to today, this is the game that got me into the Metroid series. This is the game that, okay, I could go on and fanboy about it, but let's talk about the plot. Bounty hunter Samus Aran gets a distress call from an orbiting station above Talon 4. She investigates it to find the station destroyed and finds space pirates and the Parasite Queen. Defeating it leads to a countdown to the destruction of the station, Ridley popping out of nowhere and being revived. Again, this world must have Dragon Balls. And then an explosion causing Samus to lose 95% of her abilities. She hops into her ship and heads to Talon 4. While on the planet, Samus discovers that the Chozo made this planet their home at one point, and a giant meteor crash-landed on it, infecting the world and its creatures with a substance known as Phazon. This also infected and caused the death of the Chozo themselves on Talon 4. Additionally, the space pirates are trying to utilize the Phazon for their own nefarious means, and even infusing Metroid with it. Because that's a smart idea. I forgot, when does Prime take place in the unofficial, sort of official timeline? Okay, so Prime takes place before Metroid 2, so there's no off-the-wall reason Metroids exist, although playing this when it came out, and you've already played Super Metroid when it literally starts off with, the last Metroid is in captivity, can make the canon seem a bit confusing. After infiltrating the Phazon mines and learning more about the substance itself, Samus must now travel across the planet to collect the Chozo artifacts to unlock the crater that the Chozo had created. It was sealed basically so the Chosen One can come and destroy it. Crazy bird family putting way too much pressure on Samus. After collecting the artifacts, she must battle Meta Ridley. Ridley, who has been given the same mechanical upgrade Cyborg must have. With the help of the ghost of the Chozo, yes, ghosts exist in this world because, of course they do, there's not enough scary things in this world apparently. But with Meta Ridley defeated, the crater is opened up, and Samus enters where Phazon originated on this planet. Infected Metroids left and right. You travel to find the final boss, the most infected Metroid of them all, Metroid Prime. Wait, the final boss is the name of the game? There's a game named after the boss. Huh, I need more time to discuss that at a later date, I think. You fight Metroid Prime and eventually defeat it, and it absorbs Samus's Phazon suit, and the crater blows up, and Samus barely escapes. In an ending credit scene obtained through getting 100% of the game, you see a hand exposing itself through the Phazon left over, and it looks like Samus's hand. It's kind of creepy. From the footage, this looks like a first-person shooter, but Nintendo was insistent that it was a first-person adventure. Which, whatever, call it what you want, but this is a fantastic first 3D Metroid game. The environments are so immersive, along with the music that escalates it even further. You feel like you're alone on Talon 4, discovering the ruins of a dead civilization. The battles with the space pirates are intense, and the music makes it even scarier. Honestly, that space pirate music gave me so much anxiety as a child. I can go on and on about this game. I can't praise it enough, and with the remastered version on the Switch, you don't have an excuse. Go play this game right now. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Have you played Metroid Prime? If not, what are you doing? Seriously, go now. This video will be here when you're done. Go. But if you like this, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of Nintendo Network, and today we're talking about Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance. It's got too much water, that's it. Good night, folks! Sorry, you knew I had to do it, but let's jump into the third generation of Pokemon proper. The plot follows as you are new to the region and town and you want to be the very best like no one ever was. But like most Pokemon games, you're 10 years old, so the perfect age to be sent out on your own in a world full of dangerous killing monsters. You travel the Hoenn region collecting a new generation of Pokemon. After getting your starter from Professor Birch, honestly, there's no real wrong choice of this trio. You go across and fight the 8 gym leaders around the region, including your own father, which was something new and kind of neat. Along your journey, you fight Team Aqua or Team Magma, depending on your version, who want to awaken the Box Art Legendary. Team Magma wants to awaken Groudon to get rid of the water of the world, believing that more landmass will help humanity. Okay. And Team Aqua wants Kyogre to flood the world, saying it will help Pokemon. I don't have enough time to go over how stupid these plans are. We went from Pokemon Mafia with Team Rocket to Saturday morning cartoon villainy. And yes, I know Pokemon is by all technical terms a Saturday morning cartoon. But whatever, you end up capturing the legendary for yourself and use their powers for good, or to ensure you can win a Pokemon battle. You then face the Elite Four and the champion to become the greatest Pokemon master of Hoenn, and then unlocked a lot of post-game fun. Jumping from the Game Boy to the GBA allowed for a larger cartridge, more space, and for many new things to come to the Pokemon formula, many that are still used to this very day. Natures and abilities were added to this generation, and it also introduced double battles, which is still used a lot in the competitive scene. The game also introduced contests where you could form Pokemon based on different categories like beauty, cool, cute, smart, and tough, which different moves being in one of those categories. You also used Pokeblocks to refine the Pokemon's abilities and moves and categories. But honestly, your battling team won't get you that far. You have to raise a whole new team to complete all the contests. Ruby and Sapphire didn't change the formula, it evolved it. New unique Pokemon, a large region to explore, new ways to battle. The leap from the Game Boy Color to this brought the world to life even more. Honestly, the plot is the biggest issue. It's not that engaging, honestly. Not that the games before got too deep, but the villains this time are idiots, so yes, they are a threat, but really to themselves as well and to all of humanity. Like, could we have just done nothing and they would have defeated themselves, kind of? Honestly, the mainline games have trouble with truly engaging villain factions. I hope this is fixed soon. Oh, and having to start your Pokédex again and not being able to transfer from red, blue, gold, silver was truly heartbreaking. You do not know. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. What was your team when you went up against the Elite Four in this game? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Today we get to relive and discuss probably one of Nintendo's biggest mishandlings of a game since... Okay, if I read that all, then we'd be here for the entire runtime. But we're talking about Nintendo Land today, which you probably knew because of the thumbnail. Nintendo Land was a launch title for the Wii U. This had 12 different themed areas like an amusement park with different games, each based on different IPs. Let's quickly discuss each of them. Animal Crossing Sweet Days has the player holding the gamepad controlling two guards as other players try to collect candy. Balloon Trip Breeze, where you use the stylus on the gamepad to draw a gust of wind to direct your Mii through different obstacles to make it to the end of the course. Donkey Kong's Crash Course utilizes the gamepad's motion control so you can control a cart in a course without it getting destroyed. The Legend of Zelda Battle Quest has you facing hordes of enemies with the gamepad using a bow and arrow, and then players with the Wiimote Plus could swing around their sword. Luigi's Ghost Mansion has the player using the gamepad as a ghost who is invisible to the TV screen, trying to sneak up on other players who are trying to get them with their flashlight. Mario Chase has the gamepad player controlling a Mii dressed as Mario, able to see a top-down view of the course to avoid other players who can only see the TV in a third-person view. Metroid Blast has you use the gamepad to control Samus's gunship, or Samus with the Wiimotes to defeat space pirates. Pikmin Adventure has the gamepad player as Olimar who can throw Pikmin at enemies, while the Wiimote controlled players allow you to use individual Pikmin to survive a harsh environment. Tekamaru's Ninja Castle has you flinging ninja stars from the gamepad to the TV screen to hit targets. Captain Falcon's Twister Race has you racing on an F-Zero course while using the gamepad to move. On Yoshi's Fruit Cart, you use the gamepad to control a cart and draw a path to pick fruit up. And Octopus Dance has you following dance moves from, well, an octopus, obviously. You had a fun hub world to run around in as your Mii when they were still popular for Nintendo, not just a checkbox. The game ranged from stupidly engaging and itched my need for a Metroid game to I think I played Octopus Dance maybe twice. Mario Chase was a ton of fun as the camera on the gamepad showed the Mario player's face as they ran away. This was a great party game. This seemed perfect for the Wii U. Much like how Wii Sports showed off exactly what the Wii had to offer with the Wiimotes, Nintendo Land could show off what the new gamepad could do. So packaging it with the system was so smart and gave people a free game to test things out even further. Unfortunately, you probably know the actual story. Nintendo Land was sold separately, or there was a more expensive bundle that included it. This was one of the many missteps of the Wii U. Nintendo Land is a ton of fun, but the general public needed to see why. And why the gamepad was not the worst idea in the world, which people still paint it as. I know people hate on it, but it was truly underutilized. I honestly highly recommend Nintendo Land. It's a must-play for a Wii U. I can't see it getting a remake or something. A new Nintendo Land maybe. That'd be cool, but this was something special. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. What was your favorite minigame of Nintendo Land? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on the Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. I think a little sunshine could do us all some good in these winter months, so we're going to review Super Mario Sunshine. Let's just jump right into the plot. Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth are going on vacation to beautiful Isle Delfino, as Peach is tired of getting kidnapped apparently, and nothing bad ever happens on a tropical island. In a video showcasing the island that they're watching, Peach notices a shadowy figure in the background that apparently the editor didn't notice and sent out for the world to see. When they land, a large amount of goop is in the runway. Mario investigates and finds Flood, a waterspout backpack that he uses to clean it up, but the police arrive. Mario goes to trial and is thrown to prison before being released to clean up the island from the goop as he is accused of graffitiing across the island. While cleaning up Delfino Plaza, the shadowy figure, Shadow Mario, appears with Mario in pursuit. After a while and collecting some shine sprites, Shadow Mario appears again, kidnaps Princess Peach and takes her to Pinna Park, where Mario finds out it's actually Bowser Jr. and he keeps calling Peach Mama. After defeating a Mecha Bowser, Bowser Jr. escapes with Peach. Mario travels the whole island from Pinna Park, a hotel, to the beach, and more to collect enough shine sprites to scale Corona Mountain. Once he's there, he finds Bowser Jr. and Peach alongside Bowser in a tub of green jello? This is one of those things that we didn't get a whole lot of information on, and the least we know is probably better. Let's just leave it at that. Mario defeats Bowser in the tub, a sentence I just had to say, and the island is cleaned and saved. All while Bowser admits to his son that Peach was not his real mom. Yeah, we kind of figured that one, big guy. Sunshine took a very different direction with the platforming and with the Flood in particular. The different nozzles you got really gave you more options for running around the island. The rocket nozzle is a personal favorite. When you're looking around for a shine sprite and get into some tricky platforming, you could really feel a sense of accomplishment. The hub of Delfino Plaza has so many hidden things to discover and explore, it's a real treat just to run around there. On the other side, and I say this as a loyalist of the game, and I truly love it, this game needed a little bit more time cooking. For one, there are quite a few glitches, there are parts that needed a bit more testing for sure, and then there are some truly unfair shine sprites. There is a difference between unfair and challenging. Also, the Chuckster is not unfair. There's literally a 1-up right before you go to attempt it, and you can just keep recycling it. The lily pad is so much worse, and no one talks about it as much. Out of all the Mario games, I would truly like to see this one get remastered, to tweak the issues it has a bit and give it the game they fully wanted to. But as is, it's still a ton of fun. The story makes absolutely no sense, but in the next Mario game he goes to space, so I don't think it's meant to make sense, guys. And then he eventually battles a realistic looking dragon. This series is amazingly off the wall. I highly recommend this game. It's a ton of fun and a favorite of mine. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. We got 2 more to go. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for viewing these videos, and I cannot wait to see what our last couple videos will be. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and join us on our Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off. Hello and welcome to day 30 of the 31 days of the Nintendo Network, and today we got a fun treat. The penultimate episode in this endeavor will be Mega Man 2. 3 Mega Man games in this month is truly destiny. Let's jump into the plot of what many people feel is the best of the classic series. In the year 2000X, oh man, this is in the past, Mega Man must defeat the evil Dr. Wily, who has built 8 of his own Robot Masters, to, you guessed it, take over the world. Mega Man is tasked with taking down the 8, tracking down Dr. Wily, and bringing him to justice. And you're always teleported just far enough away where you have to deal with a bunch of traps and robots and issues. Why can't Dr. Light just teleport him into the boss's lair? I know, video game logic. You fight the 8 Robot Masters, Metal Man, Air Man, Bubble Man, Quick Man, Crash Man, Flash Man, Heat Man, and Wood Man, gaining their powers after defeating them. This has the same rock, paper, scissors system from the first game and has become a staple for the series. Having trouble defeating Airman? Go after Woodman, as Leaf Shield, the power you get from Woodman, does more damage to Airman. Then you can go take on Crashman, who is weak to the air shooter weapon you get from Airman, and so forth. You climb Wily's castle, facing off against some of his big robots, and then you have to fight the 8 Robot Masters once more before facing Wily's machine number 2. Wily escapes and Mega Man pursues him to see Wily turning into a alien? Can't say I saw that twist coming. But of course, after defeating Alien, you find out it was just a hologram and Wily begs for mercy. The world is saved and we'll never see Dr. Wily again. Mega Man 2 took what the first one did, but better in almost every way. We went from 6 to 8 Robot Masters, which would be the trend going forward. Metal Blade is a ton of fun to use while playing, and the challenge was ramped up, but not to a real unfair level. Looking at you, Mega Man 9. The music also takes it to the next level. Most Mega Man music is truly top tier, and Mega Man 2 is no exception. And inside the context of the original series, not X or Zero or anything, the foundation built from the first game and this one is still in all those games. It's a game we know and love, just with different graphics, Robot Masters, and degrees of different bells and whistles. It's a testament to the game and series. As mentioned, Mega Man 2 is a fan favorite, and it's easy to see why. Thank you for joining me here on day 30 of the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. What is your favorite Robot Master? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join my Discord. I greatly appreciate everyone who has been tuning in to these 31 days. It has been an endeavor for sure, but a lot of fun to revisit some amazing games. I truly appreciate all of you, and as a reward, let's see what game is up next for the last game of the 2026 31 Days on Nintendo Network instead of making you wait 24 hours. No, it can't be. No, please, not that. Anything but this.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Hello and welcome to the last day, day 31 of the 31 days of the Nintendo Network. And I really got the short end of the stick on our final day. We were ending so strong. And then the Wheel of Destiny decided to be super petty and mean. It says Dustin got 3 Mega Man games and even a Jurassic Park one, but he's going to have to review Sonic Boom, The Rise of Lyric for the Nintendo Wii U. Let's just get this over with. Look, I love Sonic, and I honestly have a weird admiration for even the worst of his outings. I enjoy, although enjoy might be too strong of a word, Sonic 06 for what it was trying to do. I love the adventure formula, and that is what the foundation of it was, the crumbling, sinking foundation. But where you eventually got used to the glitches and issues and learned to work with them in Sonic 06, probably due to Stockholm Syndrome, Sonic Boom never did. Sonic Boom was meant to be a reboot of sorts for the series. It wasn't part of the main line and even got a seriously funny cartoon. But let's dive into the game. Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles are battling Eggman and end up on an island where you can see a door with an etching of Sonic and Tails. They're hesitant to go in, but Metal Sonic and a horde of badniks corner them and they go in to find Lyric, the last ancient. Lyric is awakened by the group and recognizes Sonic somehow even though he's like from 1,000 years ago. He captures them, but Tails sets them free. They find out through the power of exposition that Lyric wanted to take over the world and destroy all organic life, but was contained by his peers and other ancients. They need to find the Chaos Crystal before Lyric. They find a time portal where they want to go back and get a map to find it, but Shadow intervenes because gotta have Shadow, I guess. But Sonic and Tails defeat him to go back in time, get the map, and trap Lyric, which is how he knew Sonic. I was expecting something more interesting for that plot point, but that is what I get for having expectations with this game.
I expect nothing, and I'm still let down.
Lyric teams up with Eggman, but don't you know it, they don't get along and Lyric reprograms Metal Sonic and betrays him. Lyric corners Sonic, who refuses to give up the crystals, but he buries him under some rubble. The team saves Sonic, then goes to face off against Lyric at his fortress or lair or whatever you want to call it. Lyric captures them again, and Eggman comes out of the shadows to free them, and the team defeats Lyric. Yay, it's over now! That explanation does not let you know how bad it truly is. This game is plagued with issues. It wasn't even meant for the Wii U initially, but due to a 3-game deal with Nintendo, focus was shifted on the console. This is sort of what happened with Sonic 06, with a chunk of the development being moved to a different Sonic game, Sonic and the Secret Rings. This led to glitches that the game is plagued with, low frame rate, something I don't care about but it is a thing, and what seems like a lack of playtesting with things like the Infinite Knuckles jump glitch that allows you to jump seamlessly forever with him, and I'm pretty sure that lets you skip 90% of the game to get to the final area, which, I mean, maybe they left that in to be nice, I don't know. But can you blame just that? The story isn't engaging, the characterizations here are bland, something the TV series did fix and evolve. The combat was even more repetitive than the Werehog stages in Unleashed, and puzzle and level designs leave a lot to be desired. It's sad, there's something here that could have been something special, a new launching point for the series, not a laughing footnote that brings pain and frustration to those who played it. This game is notoriously bad, and I can normally find something good in even bad games, but not here. I cannot and will not recommend Sonic Boom, The Rise of Lyric. And with that, we've completed 31 straight days of uploads, 31 straight days of reviews, the 31 days of the Nintendo Network. And what a ride it's been. I honestly can't thank you all enough. Your views, your likes, your subs, everything and everyone. From the bottom of my heart, I'm truly blessed to have you all here. But there's going to be one more video tomorrow, a recap video going over the whole event, my favorite moments from each video, and maybe a look into the future of the channel. Hope to see you there. Thank you for joining me here at the 31 Days of the Nintendo Network. Did you ever have the displeasure of playing Sonic Boom, The Rise of Lyric? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on my Discord. This is Dustin with the Nintendo Network, signing off.